Good Friday morning, May 18th. I'm guessing on that. 2023. So today we got the pole saw starter, we got the chainsaw bucket, we got some other things. We got the pruning shears, and the bow saw. I'm going to take the golf cart today. Just because it travels faster, and I think the mud's enough dried up that we could probably get in a reasonable spot to start doing some work. Yeah, so continuation of some trail work, seasonal trail work, spring and fall trail work. All right, so this is a little bit about trail trimming, seasonal, once in the fall, once in the spring. So you can see there's a lot of overhanging brush here. I couldn't get, bugs are coming out. I can only get the tractor over here. So what we did is we like to be able to get the tractor along the brush line, and then I like to walk that path, and anything that hits my body, feet, torso, head, I trim. So it's a nice vertical path. It keeps things from bending over in the heavy rains and the snows and falling on the trail. So that one can stay for now. Then we put all of the cuttings on the brush pile. We did up this side over here, so I can walk underneath here without whacking my head. And then what we like to do is let the sides grow in for tall grasses and wildflowers, and we just keep the middle section mowed for the remainder of the season, so that people can use it. I walk here, used to walk my dogs, cross-country ski, take the kids on the golf cart, neighbors use it for their dogs, they walk, ATVs, mini bikes, just a general use trail. So it's nice to have like this section right here will be just mowed. That will be tall grass and wildflowers, and that's why we try to cut early in the spring and late in the fall. So these flowers are very nice, so we don't want to mow them down, so we like to get in here early and cut these things down. So you can see that there's one left here, but up here where I cut, there's a whole bunch, because it eventually wants to go back to being brush. So twice this, once in the fall, once in the spring, I like to go and cut all of these down so that we can have this area that's just tall grass and wildflowers. It's very nice. But if you don't maintain it, then within 5 years it's going to look like that, and there's no tall grass and wildflowers in there because that doesn't support it. So we have to actively maintain this section here for that look. And you can see the next project is brought the pole saw on that. We got a lot of overhanging stuff that needs to get cleaned up. So what I do like to do is I like early in this season here, I did that this week, early in the week, I like to take the mower, riding mower, and come right along the brush line here, and then I walk the brush line. Anything that hits me, like this is in our way, so this will need to get trimmed out, right? Obviously if it's above my head, it's fine. I just use a gauge. As if it hits me, then it needs to get trimmed, because it will grow out more and more, and then heavy rains and snows, it bends down and breaks, and then I have to trim it anyway, so I might as well just trim it when it's smaller. So as you can see, there's a lot of little things here. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to trim that this year. I usually do it by hand, but I'm getting kind of old for that. But this right here is kind of thick, so we brought the pole saw. These have to get, this is storm damage. These need to get trimmed out here. So that's what we're going to work on today. All right, so we trimmed this part. Let's have a quick look. So I'm walking, and you can see we cut overhanging things that were in the way. But these small things on the ground, like normally I'd use the hand pruners and do all these by hand, but I don't know, I'm not feeling that anymore. What I'm feeling is my still combi, whatever that thing's called, that I use with the leaf blower and the pole saw and the weed whacker, has a brush trimmer that can cut up to a 1/4 inch thick brush. So I think I'm going to purchase that. Maybe that's an early Father's Day gift, and I'm going to use that to trim up all the small things along the bottom here. So far I can walk pretty good standing vertical. Just gonna clean up some of this. All this brush stuff is gonna go on that brush pile, and we now are at the point of needing the pole saw to clean up these pieces here. Alright, we cleaned up some of the bigger stuff in here with the pole saw. You can see this lower stuff here. I think we use the brush cutter. I think we'll purchase that soon and give it a try. We trimmed all the way up to here and we stopped. This is our marker. We did use the pole saw up here, and I'm going to have to get some of that stuff put on the brush pile before we call it the morning. I have to go pick up my son from school, grandson from school.